Hi friends, Miss McKeown here checking in for writing. And what we're talking about today is making sure that you pick very specific words for your labeling when you're writing about your expert topic. You should not pick just regular plain words. I think in first grade we've called them sparkly words, we've called them specific words, we've called them exciting words. So when you pick your topic that you're an expert about to write and draw about, you should pick words that really make you sound like the expert that you are. All right, so what I did is I chose the topic of soccer. I like to think I'm a little bit of an expert on soccer. And what I did is I picked some words that we do know are part of soccer, but we can be a little bit more specific. We can be a little bit more not as boring with the words that we choose. So the first one that I chose, and I'm sorry, friends, that my illustrations, my drawings are not that great, but I tried. But here we go. So the first word is shoe. Well, we know soccer players do wear shoes, but they wear a very specific kind of shoe. And the shoe that they wear is called a cleat. So if I am an expert in soccer, I want to make sure that I'm using the correct word to describe what kind of shoe is it. It is a cleat. So now I'm going to sound more like an expert. The next word that I was thinking of is the word goalie. Now, everybody calls this position the goalie, the person who stands in front of the net and tries to block the balls from going in when you kick them. But the real name for the goalie is actually goaltender, which is a little bit of a longer word. But if we're talking about being specific and sounding like an expert, we want to call it the real name that it is. So a goalie is actually a goaltender. All right. Now, moving on down, it's hard. Miss McKeown doesn't have the longest arms. We play on fields that are made of grass, or we play on fields that are made of artificial grass, pretend grass. But if you're really an expert on the topic of soccer, you know that most people refer to soccer as being played on a field, okay, or on a turf field. So what I'm going to say is the word turf. Okay, because we know that turf can be a grass field. We know that turf can be a pretend field. When you're hitting the turf, when you're playing on the turf, that means you're playing on the field. Okay, whether it's the real grass or the pretend grass, the turf is what makes you sound like an expert if you're describing the field that the players are playing on. And the last word that I chose is the word down here, referee. Now, there are many different kinds of referees that work on the soccer fields, making sure that the players are following the rules and playing the game correctly. Now, I would want to be specific about what kind of referee am I talking about. Am I talking about the referee who's on the field with the players, running, chasing after the ball and making sure that everything's safe? Or do I want to think about the referee who's actually the linesman? And the linesman is the kind of referee who runs up and down the outside line of the field to make sure that the ball does not go out of bounds, or that the players by accident do not step out of bounds. So that kind of referee is called a linesman. I want to be very careful when I pick my words describing what kind of referee am I talking about, and I'm talking about the linesman. So friends, as you're doing your expert topic writing, I want you to think about specific words that really make you, the writer, look like you know exactly what you're talking about with your expert topic. Okay. Now, if for some reason you have not been able to think of an expert topic, I want you to think, just like last week, about Dunning School and everything you know about Dunning School. And again, you're going to think of drawing a picture of Dunning, or maybe a part of Dunning, and what would be the specific words that you would include in your labeling that would describe Dunning School, specific words that make you sound like the expert you are about Dunning. Again, picking sparkly words, specific words. Okay, that's the kind of writers that we know you are. We know you've made your expert lists. We know you have a lot of ideas, and now we're ready to see you write them and hear about them when they're done. So writers, very specific expert words. Off you go to write.